Q&A time. I hope you're all really well, having a great weekend. It is Sunday morning and I put up on my Instagram yesterday. I do quite a lot on Instagram, so if you don't follow me over there, you might be quite interested to see what I get up to, just like reels and stories and things. But I put up on my stories that I'm going to do a Q&A today, like a question time, and I asked whether you had any questions, and I've had loads. So I would say this video is going to be long. If you don't have time, if you've only got 10 minutes spare, press pause, come back to this later. If you do have like 20 minutes free in your life, make sure you have yourself a drink and some snacks or something, because it's going to be long. Okay, so the first question is from Nora. Love Nora. Nora has said, how are the bunnies? So for any of you who are new, I have two house rabbits. One is called Jessie, one is called Lola. I will try and put some clips in here of the pair of them. They're not friends, that's the only problem. Lola, the white one, really wants to be friends with Jessie. But Jessie had a partner, Louis, who died in 2023. And Jessie's getting on now. She's like 10 years old. And Louis died when they were both 7 years old, 7.5 years old. And she was never the same after. She was always a little bit grumpy in herself, but she turned super grumpy after he died. And she acts now really aggressive towards Lola. And I think she kind of went in on herself after Louis died. And do you know what? You know when you just get a gut feeling with your pets? I just get a gut feeling that she never really moved on from it. And rabbits are not stupid animals, you know. They're just not. Like, I think a lot of people think that they're like rodents, and they're not even a rodent. That's not what they are. And they're really, really smart. They're not dissimilar to cats, I would say, and you can train them to use a cat litter tray. They're really sweet little animals, but they do remember. And if we go away, if David and I go away, even if it's for one night and we just go to a hotel somewhere just to chill, when we come back, Jessie will hold a grudge against us. She's very moody, she won't come near us, she won't eat her food, and she's really miserable, and she normally holds that up for like 24 hours before she goes back to normal. So she's quite funny, but they're not friends. The next one is from Sol, who has said, have you visited the States? Would you like to? And you've also said, my name Sol is Spanish for sun, by the way. I love your name, it's a beautiful name. We have well, David's been to the States so many times, I have not. Can you believe that? I've never been. We were going to go last year, but in the end we ended up going back to Asia again. And I really want, there are certain places I really want to go. So friends of ours went to Nashville and said it's amazing there. And I don't necessarily want to do all the tourist traps like New York, Miami, LA, Vegas. Like, I do want to do those places, but I want to go somewhere that's a little bit more real, and less sort of like, if you go to London, there are parts of London that's real, but you can go to other parts that are real stereotypical, like touristy, British, and it's a bit contrived. And I really want to go somewhere in the States that is like raw and real and more like everyday life. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. And we are looking to go maybe next year. The next one is from NC Mama 8. What's the best place to eat in Harrods? We always end up back at the pizza place, you know. It's just yummy pizza, but there are so many good restaurants in Harrods. The only thing I would say about Harrods and the restaurants is a couple of years ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, they put the prices up to ridiculous. And last time we went there, I'm not even joking, I seem to remember one burger was like £40 for a burger. I mean, to be fair, a pizza in there is like £30. So it really adds up. But I remember going in there with David and we got 2 burgers and the bill was over £100. And it's not about money, it's about not wanting to get ripped off. Does that make sense? It's okay as an everyday, like, it's okay as an every so often treat. But because we're going Harrods quite a lot, we're just like, nah, I'm kind of done with spending that kind of money on like a burger. So Harrods is great, but we tend to go to places, we go to the pizza place in Harrods, but we go to places outside and around Harrods now, which are just as nice, and you don't pay like Harrods money. D.I. Ferenti, I think. Why are you selling all your bags? Are you planning to retire from YouTube? Love you so much. Oh, you've written something else, but it's like cut off what you've written. Okay, I'm actually doing a dedicated video on why I'm doing the handbag sales, because I've had lots of you asking questions, and I just thought, let's talk about it. So I'm going to leave that video because you might want to watch that video, but in brief, I've got a situation going on. My situation is that I absolutely love my bags, and it's a very privileged situation, I've got so many that the shelves that they sit on, the bags are now stacked on top of each other. So they're not just lined up and all separate and being protected. They're stacked on top of each other now. And what's happening is that a lot of the bags that are softer leather are getting indentations on them, where there's bags above them that are putting weight on them. I've got light coloured bags touching dark coloured bags, causing dye transfer. It's a mess. It's not particularly pleasant when, the bags are not just stacked sideways, they're not just on top of each other, but they're deep as well. So I'm forgetting what I own. Because I can't see the bags right at the back of the shelf because they're blocked by the bags at the front of the shelf, if that makes sense. And I want to clear out what I'm not using. Anything I'm not using that I haven't reached for, I want to say goodbye to it. I don't have the space anymore. We are going to be moving house at some point, and when we found our dream house, and when we do, I don't want the stress of having to box up bags and have them stacked on top of each other in packaging boxes and have them crushed, particularly bags that are very expensive that I've either never used or have stopped using. Like some of my Chanel bags that I've sold recently, I'm not using them and they're getting damaged. So that's really what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And I just want to, I don't know what's happened to me. I've kind of reached a point where I just want to declutter, and I've got a lot of things, and there's one bag that I really want to get that I might get this week. Can you guess what it is? It's like the cherry on the top of the cake bag for me. And when I've got that bag, I feel like I'm kind of done. It's not to say that if something new comes out that I won't buy it. I'm never going to say that I'm never going to buy a bag again, but I feel like this particular bag I'm after has been an itch that I want to scratch, and once I've got that bag, I feel like for a long time I'm like chill. So that's really why I'm selling bags, but keep an eye out for the video because I go into a lot more detail. Dea H, what is your car collection looking like now? Any new purchases being considered? So Dea, currently we've got the GT3, we've got the Fiesta, we sold the McLaren when the warranty ran out, we have got an order that's turning up next March. It just is like a runaround, like an RS3. It's going to look amazing. It's in a very exotic colour, of which we were told there are none in the UK in that colour. There's one in Germany, is what we've been told. We couldn't find anyone on YouTube or Instagram that had this colour, because when we were trying to pick, we were just looking all over social media, so you can see what it looks like, but we couldn't see anyone with it. But it's a very, very pop colour. It's just beautiful. And the car, we're going to take it to Topaz in the UK. Topaz are a car detailing place, but they also do wraps. We're going to get the carbon wrapped in matte. We're going to have an Alcantara steering wheel put in. We're just going to absolutely make this car our own. So that's on the way, but we also have potentially got another Porsche on the way as well, and I will let you know about that when it happens. Viv has said, do you still get subscriber emails? You used to do videos where you responded to postcards and emails and then it's cut off your message, but I know what you're saying. So I used to have a PO box going back many years, and some of you who have been with me a while, or if you haven't, what I used to do is you guys used to write to me. A lot of you used to write to me privately, and I always wrote back, but some of you used to write to me and you wanted your letters read out on camera, and it was so cute. We used to do like subscriber mail times, and then I shut down the PO box because that PO box was a nightmare. Actually, they kept returning people's mail in the end, and they were charging me £500 a year for this PO box, and I wasn't even getting all of the mail. And then some of you would get your mail returned to you and you'd get angry at me thinking that I'd rejected it personally, and I was like, I didn't even know you'd written to me. That's why I don't do the mail times anymore. But if any of you do want to email me, if you just want to have a chat, or if you want to, a lot of you used to write to me with personal issues in your life and you were like, don't read out my name, but my husband's having an affair. Can you put it on your channel and see what people say? Is there any advice? Like big stuff. A lot of you used to write to me with like big stuff, like health stuff, all sorts. So if you did want to write, here's my email address. And you can either write privately, or you can have me read out your mail, up to you. Adrienne, love you, Adrienne. Have you and David looked more at neighbourhoods to decide where you want to move? Yes. So I was talking about this on my Patreon. I have like a Patreon channel where I go into a lot more detail about stuff, but we're looking to, well, we are going to retire this year and I can't wait for it. And we're just working on some more big projects at the moment. And when they're done, we're going to start looking again at houses, because what happened was at the beginning of this year, we jumped into looking at properties, and then we were like, oh my God, we're going to be in our dream house by Christmas 2025. And then we were going to look at places and the areas were not right for us, or what we thought the areas were going to be, they were not. Where the houses were okay, one of them was okay, but the area was not like what we wanted. And then we got these big projects come in and we just haven't had the time to go and view properties. But what we are still doing is we've got like areas that we're looking at moving to, and we've got alerts set up on Rightmove, which is like a website in the UK for properties, and whenever new properties come on, it alerts us and we're checking them out, and any that do look amazing we will go and view. But for now we're just like waiting, but we know the areas we want to move to. I think some of the areas we potentially want to move to, we still need to go and visit. So that's that. The next one is from AZABWZ. This is a deep one. What is the meaning of life in your understanding? That's deep, that's deep. So I have got a thought on this. I never really thought about the meaning of life until a few years ago, when my gran died. And it just kind of made me think, it makes you realise that we're not all here forever. I know it's really depressing, but we're not all here forever. And my gran always used to say to me, enjoy being younger because time gets quicker the older you get. And I remember she said that, she told me loads of like things that really stuck in my mind, and literally everything she told me was 100% true, and including the whole thing about time getting quicker as you get older. And she lived to like 104, and she loved shopping, she loved going out, she was a very social person, loved her to bits. I was very, very close with her. But when she died, it really hit me, and I really missed her, because I used to go and see her, so like I used to take her out shopping on a weekend. I did everything with her. And I kind of questioned for a while, like, what is the point of it down here? What is the point? If you're just going to die at the end of it, what's the point? And I got to a point where it was a bit depressing, but I felt like I was just sat here waiting to die. God, this is depressing. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not triggering anyone. But seeing as we're talking about the meaning of life. Anyway, something she said to me later resonated. And do you know what I think? I think we're down here to learn lessons. I do believe there is an afterlife. I've grown up, don't know if you saw it, I did a video on it where I was like really open about some like hauntings and stuff that couldn't be denied and were witnessed by other people, about weird spiritual things that have happened to me over the years. I'll link to that video below if it sounds of interest. I speak about the house I grew up in, what that was like. And I just came to a realization. I thought, what was that I saw? What was that I saw? Or what was that other people saw and witnessed? There can't be nothing after all this. There's clearly something going on after you die. And that gave me comfort. Although that growing up in that house was really scary, it gave me comfort, because I thought there's something going on after this. I'm sorry, but that's what I believe. And it gives me comfort. And I think we're down here to learn a lesson. To learn lessons, and I think if you don't learn your lesson, you come back round again, back down here again, and that I think it's cyclical. Is that how you say it? I think until you learn what you need to learn, you come back down again and you go through it all again. And I wouldn't be surprised if when we come back down, we're with the same sort of group of people, but they're different, like maybe your husband's your brother, or I don't know. I that's weird. But maybe we're all spiritually in the same sort of group, but everyone's in a different place when they come back down. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. C. Gok1. Do you and David like watches? Can you tell us what's in your watch collection? David doesn't like watches at all. I've tried to get him into watches. He's got an Apple Watch and he uses that for his fitness and stuff. I've got like a couple of watches. I really like Tag, and one of my friends is really into watches and is like, Tag's cool, but it's not on the same level as Rolex. And I'm like, I know, but I just like Tag. Like, this is actually a man's watch, but I just like it. This is one of the Carrera watches. I just really like it. I've got another Tag watch, and then I have lots of Seconda watches. And when I'm out in central London, I very often will wear my Seconda watches because they look very Cartier style, but they're like under £50 and I don't worry about them so much. So that's kind of that. Konstantinos.th. Any updates on the GT3? So the current situation is I have a GT3 and I was given allocation on a new one. And I've spec'd it. I know what I want it to look like and I know the colour I want it to look. But because we're looking to buy a new house, the Audi, fine, it's not as expensive as the Porsche, so we've gone for it. But with the Porsche, with the new GT3, they've put the price up on it a lot. It's gone up a lot. And I'm just thinking, it's probably best to put that money into the house, or get the house first, move house, and then look at the GT3. I don't know. They've kept my allocation open for me though, which is fantastic. So that's that. Ginger Grammar. Sophie, what little things do you do when you're feeling sad to help cheer yourself up? That is a great question. I like to do crafting. I like to knit things. I'll try and find some pictures of things that I've knitted actually, and I'll put them in here. But I love knitting clothes like jumpers. But I also found this brand the other day. I forget what they're called. Wait there, I'll go and show you what I made because it's really cute. Okay, I'm back. So I was on Instagram, and because I like crafting, I get shown a lot of like knitting content or just like craft stuff. And this company came up. Look at this cute little bag. I made it. So it's gingham, and you can make it in, they also have black gingham as well. And you stitch the handles on. It comes with this little charm, these two little flowers, and it comes with a crossbody strap that you can remove. It's got a lining, and the lining, if I remove this to show you, I would, but it's like stuck to the bag, but it's got their logo on it there. And when you're making the bag, that dust bag in there is to keep all of the bits in. But then when you're finished making the bag, it goes in as a liner. And so I made this one, and then I need to show you my first attempt. It's terrible. I was learning as I went on this one. Okay, so this is the first one that I made, and it's got tulips on it. But the problem was, if you're going to try this kit, because they're like £25 a kit, or you can get like a set for 50 or something. Can't remember. But if you're going to make it, except for on this one I found that I had on this one I found that I didn't have enough of the cream material to complete the bag, so I had to finish the bottom in green. But I didn't have enough green material either, so that's why it's like off center. Then you're meant to trim the bag around here with cream as well, but I didn't have any cream left. I only had a little bit of pink, so I put some pink around it, and I don't love it. I don't love it at all. I think if I could change out that bottom for cream, I can ignore the pink that's around here. That kind of looks like maybe it's meant to be, but that is just awful. So I like the design of this bag, thinking about buying it again. And now that I've learned that you don't get much material, I'm going to try and make it again with less wastage, because I did have some wastage, but Yeah, I make stuff. I just love making stuff.